Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Arcantu here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am so happy to spend some time with you today on this Friday. And if you're in Northern New Jersey, it is finally sunny outside and not raining. And although I know we should be happy to have our earth watered, which I'm all for, but I feel like we're good for a few days and we could use the sunshine. But it is perfect to welcome the sunshine with today's guest because I feel like she's like a ray of sunshine as
Oh,
well,
thank you.
emanating from the screen. And I'm so grateful to have her join us today. And we're going to talk a little bit because, as many of us know who are women that are over 40, and I fall into that category being 53, very often that we are kind of in a position where we're reevaluating our lives, looking at what's important to us, trying to decide, where we're putting our energy, if it's making sense, if it's fulfilling. And sometimes that moves us into thinking about a change in career paths or in, making a personal goal for ourselves just to help us feel more fulfilled somewhere along the line. And sometimes this happens for moms, sometimes it happens for folks that are not moms. It doesn't matter. We all can get stuck at some point and feel a little bit purposeless and, really want to feel the kind of, ignite the passion again within us for daily life, by finding, what will do that for us. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And what a better day than with the sun out, kind of coming back. I mean, what a better, to introduce us and to this conversation with Miss Clare Hahn, who we're so happy to have with us today. Welcome, Clare.
Hello.
So I want to tell everyone about you. You are, for our viewers, Clare is a New Jersey-based transformational life coach who helps smart and high-achieving women go from survival mode to thriving mode in their personal and professional life. She combines a 14-year corporate management experience and operational leadership and hands-on entrepreneurship experience, and takes all of that into her coaching practice to equip women with the mindset and the skill set that they need to create the life that they truly want to live to their fullest, with joy, with ease, and with confidence. I mean, who doesn't want that? The modality, excuse me, that she practices in her coaching is called casual coaching, and it is based in cause and effect, which goes beyond simply fixing the symptom of a problem at hand and really identifies the source, the root cause of the issue, and changes. And then change ends up being generated from this approach to more impactful and more transformational, opportunities for our lives. And it really helps hold someone accountable for their actions. It's really about being fully engaged in your future, and being active part of that. She, having successfully pivoted herself, both from personal and professional life in her mid-40s, she believes that midlife is the time to redesign your life and to reinvent yourself on purpose. And I couldn't agree more. And so I'm so
Yay.
looking forward to talking with you today, Clare. Welcome, welcome,
Ah,
welcome.
Thanks for having me. So appreciative.
So, I mean, you had a personal journey,
Yeah.
that led you to this, this way that you help others now. Can you tell a little bit about that journey to us so we can, be inspired?
Yeah, true. So again, thanks for having me. What an honor and a pleasure. So as you mentioned in the intro, I am someone who transitioned from being a corporate employee now to a solopreneur as a life coach. But prior to becoming a life coach, I also started e-commerce brand and built a private label physical products from the get-go, from the ground up. So I guess from being a corporate gal to e-commerce business owner, now to a life coach helping other women over 40 plus redesign their life and reinvent themselves, has been a journey that I've been on in the last few years or so. And the pivot I embarked on, I want to say, as much as I want to say, it was life wonderfully packaged and presented to me, and it was me simply sliding into these new ventures and enjoying the ride. That's not the truth. It was quite the opposite. It was life throwing curveballs at me nonstop, one after another. I call them life tantrums, and me having to respond to those challenges and adversities. And my first curveball was when I walked out of my corporate career from a global, Fortune 500 company with a no backup plan. And my second curveball happened when my second product launch failed, and I had to liquidate everything I built with my two hands, with so much sweat equity. So to say that I was stuck was an understatement. I was in crisis. And on top of that, there are a lot of personal challenges and adversities along the way, that really forced me to make a decision to whether to let it break me or make me. And I did let I did let life, break me for a while, probably longer than I should, but eventually what helped me was, were two things. First, this realization that I was choosing to be a victim of my circumstances. And that was a very hard truth for me to face and accept, because I genuinely believe that what happened to me unfairly, the way I had been wrong, was what defined me. And I really didn't know how to deal with that. I thought I had no option to experience the effect of it. But looking back, staying in that stuck mode was a choice. And I was choosing to stay in that stuck mode. So that was a big aha moment for me. And second realization was that my story was still being written, that it didn't have to end there if I didn't want to. And these two emotions I was seeing that were really consuming me that time was resentment and bitterness, because I thought I was a victim, that people did wrong to me. And these emotions, it didn't have to be the last chapter of my story. So after, to make a long story short, after all these adversities, I finally decided that I needed help, and I hired a coach. And that's what helped me greatly. And that's what eventually led me to become a coach myself. But it really gave me the hope and courage I needed to get myself back up, dust myself off, and really consider relaunching my career and, yeah, start all over. So that's been the journey I've been on. I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
No, no,
I
no,
was going to say that's so fascinating and so absolutely relatable for
oh,
all.
good, yeah,
You said something that intrigued me though. You talked about how we choose
yeah,
sometimes to stay stuck.
yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about why we make those choices sometimes? Like what, you know, why, you know, it seems illogical, right? It seems
I
illogical
know.
that we would make a choice that would keep us
Yeah,
rooted in unhappiness or discontent. You
yeah.
know, why would we do that?
I know it's so counterintuitive, right? But I guess it has to do with human nature.
Mm,
As much as this is very sort of a nasty place to be in. This is somewhat relatable and familiar, and we're comfortable being in it. That's why a lot of people who procrastinate or who put off things and can't, or they have a hard time uh, correcting that habit or correcting the problem, because as much as they know how much that sabotages them, it is this word of familiarity, to them. So it gives them this sense of relief. But this is where you have to put that rational hat on rather than your emotional hat. That, which one is better? Is this better to experience this short term relief versus a long term satisfaction?
Mm.
So, to answer your question, the reason we decided to stay stuck, although our logical mind knows that it is not rational, is because again, fear of the unknown, and secondly, just the way our brain is wired, which is seeking pleasure, comfort, and staying efficient. What psychologists refer to as a motivation triad. So yeah.
Interesting, interesting. So you've made an intentional focus for your work on supporting
Mm,
women who are 40 and over,
yeah.
and that kind of midlife
Mm.
space. Can you talk a little bit about that intentionality, about focusing in that area, and why that's different, let's say, than working with someone in their 20s?
Yeah, yeah. So it's my personal conviction, not only because I'm in that Gen X group myself, but I truly, genuinely believe women over 40, that group is the most overlooked and undervalued group in society. And I really mean that, and it's easy to blame social conditioning and the media, right? But at the same time, I think we have to acknowledge and admit that we women also contribute to the problem by the way we see ourselves. And how often, like, do us women, look at ourselves and tell ourselves that, how the best years are, behind us. We're just moms and wives and caregivers. That we're not this, we're not that. That midlife is too old and too late to start anything new. I mean, all these narratives, we tell ourselves unconsciously a lot of times, only confirm and reinforce this, what society tells us that we are indeed unseen and unheard. So what do? We hide, we play small, and we're the ones that count ourselves out on our own. So I think it's very important that we acknowledge that we contribute to the problem, to ourselves, to the society issue. So but I always say that 40 is the best time to redesign your life, um, intentionally and consciously, in a way that's in alignment with who you truly are as individuals, beyond the roles you play in your life, moms, wives, caregivers, employees, and whatnot. And then even dare to dream, to become the person you've always wanted to be. And because guess what, we now have this level of introspection, wisdom, and the plethora of raw and real life that our younger selves, in our 20s and 30s and even early 40s, didn't necessarily have, right? And that we're not too far advanced in age, that we have a lot of catching up to do. So I think, this midlife is such a sweet spot to be in. And, it's all about you. A lot of people come to me, they're always like waiting for permission slips to be handed out to them. But I always tell them, no, 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 nobody's going to hand out that permission slip to you. You have to give to that yourself. It's your responsibility, nobody else's responsibility for you. So that's why I am so convinced that this age group, is really what the society is missing out on, and we're actually doing that to ourselves.
Mm.
So I just want to say, like, there's a really famous quote by this Swiss psychiatrist named Carl Jung, and you may have heard that, Helen, but it says, um, 40, and life doesn't. Okay, so life doesn't begin until 40, And up until then, you're just doing research.
Mm.
Is that true? Is that so great?
Yes, that is great, and that's such a great reframe because I think one of the things that sometimes happen as we get older and life gets more complicated, or at least it feels
Yeah,
like it's more complicated. I mean, you may
yeah.
be caregiving for a parent, you may have
Mm,
children that you're, dealing with now them and their issues, your job, you may have moved, into a different place with your job, or you may have you moved up the ladder, or you may have been laid off, or so I mean it sometimes feels like as we get older that we collect issues,
mm,
and collect challenges, and that weighs us down and makes us feel like we can't make a move because we just feel so you know uh, constricted, by all of those realities of our lives. But it's such a great reframe what you're saying,
yeah,
that that's the perfect time to be transformational,
yeah,
because you have so much knowledge that you've gained from all that's happened, and that it actually can be a springboard, for your next,
exactly.
and a really next strong chapter. So it's such a wonderful reframe, and to really look at it and focus on that this age group.
Yeah, and also women in this age group could think about the society we live in. We're talking about this longevity society, right? 40 these days is not the same 40 as our moms
Yeah.
or our grandmas, you know? So the second act and even third act, to redesign your life and that, however you want to relaunch your life, that is totally possible and feasible. So it's just a matter of you saying yes to yourself and you being honoring your dreams and desires. And also another thing I want to point out is that like what women in our age group, need to focus on are a series of soft skills, not necessarily hard skills. Like hard
Mm,
skills can be learned, hard skills can be acquired, but soft skills that you actually learned through living your own life up until this point, that cannot be learned. And that is very valuable. So I want women to focus in that area. And then from that point on, you can build on all these hard skills, on top of it, and that'll be a perfect package.
that's great to think
Yeah,
about. Yes, and I think we somehow discount that, right?
yeah,
Because it's not stuff that ends up on your resume, right?
yeah, yeah.
So we don't really acknowledge that but it is so rooted in our success in life.
Mm,
It
so
is,
true. Yeah,
and I think we are starting to see that. I know at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, we have so many programs that we do, like our YW Tech program or Eureka 360, which is about helping women start small businesses and really focus on their entrepreneurial,
mm,
skills and interests, and the YW Tech kind of launching into a whole new
mm,
space for themselves in the tech industry, which we know is really rooted to where economically there's more opportunity for women, but yet many of us have never really
yeah,
been pushed into that place because of it's not gender, from a gender perspective, where most women are ever put. So I love what you're saying, because it really does speak to the fact that um these programs, like the ones that we're offering, are really tremendous opportunities
yeah.
to support,
Sounds like, yeah,
to be able to really kind of support that next chapter and evolve yourself, that you're not done just because you've been doing X for this long. And I know we really focus on in our programs, and to your point, is that soft skills are key, that you
yeah,
can navigate any situation, that's put in front of you, once you have the ability to you know, do it through the lens of those soft skills, for
yeah.
sure.
And to build off of what you just said, because again, another thing we need to focus on is we live in the world of AIs. A lot of
Mm,
jobs are going to be replaced by
yeah,
AIs, but soft skills like critical thinking, emotional intelligence, your problem solving skills, all these things that we have somewhat mastered, having lived through our life for 40 plus years, cannot be replaced by AIs. So again, I don't want women to discount, these as just very small skills. These are valuable skills you can repackage, you can think about as a foundation for your next chapter and the next
Yes.
second and third act.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you said that because obviously, I feel like even in the last, 2 months, just the information being pushed at us about AI has
Yeah,
just dramatically increased, and really looking at how is that going to impact the workforce and
yeah,
specifically the workforce for women,
yeah,
um, you know, does lend itself to us needing to understand how do we separate ourselves and still create like a market for ourselves
yeah,
despite all that is coming. And so to your point, really, those are things maybe that can't be replicated. So it's so important for us to make sure that they are strong because that will make the difference, or could make a difference in terms of how we land through this, through what's coming. I mean, I don't think we even know what's coming yet. It's still it's kind of forming
yeah,
as we speak, in front of us. So, one of the things obviously and just for our viewers too, I just want to note for you that we are putting in the chat Clare Hahn's website so that you can go learn more about her. And scrolling across the screen, you see her. Um, she's on the different on social media sites on Instagram and Facebook, and that we do encourage you to follow her. And I will be following her so that we can stay connected to what she's doing and what she's sharing, so that we can help benefit from her wonderful expertise. So one of the things I'd love for you to share, the time always goes so quickly when we're chatting, but I'd be remiss in letting us leave each other without having you share, as a small business owner, what advice that you would have to our viewers, and specifically to our female viewers that are focused on considering a shift and maybe becoming an entrepreneur, leaving something that's a little bit more traditional and, forging a path with kind of an idea or like an instinct that this was really maybe what was meant for me. Or even jumping into a different corporate path, for themselves. How, um, what advice can you give someone, out there that's thinking through that as to, how to process and, embrace those stirrings about
yeah,
the potential of something new?
yeah, yeah. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, and this is something that I wish I had started early or I had realized sooner, is that honor your dreams. That's the first thing I want to give out to many women, kind of contemplating transitioning or pivoting or, trying something new, because dreams, and I sometimes like simultaneously, I mean, I synonymously use our true desires as dreams as well too. But whether you call them like dreams or true desires, it's very easy to dismiss them. Like it's really easy to discount and even invalidate, the significance of those. But you have to remember that these dreams of yours are actually given to you.
Mm,
You didn't actually generate and create these dreams on your own. They were actually given to you. And you also have to realize that you already have what it takes to fulfill these dreams. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there to begin with. So it's very important that you don't have to necessarily follow your dreams, but just acknowledging that, hey, these dreams are mine and they value and they matter to me. That acknowledgement, the acknowledgement itself is gonna make you feel so much empowered, because you're now acknowledging that, okay, I acknowledge you're there, but at the same time, I also acknowledge not to pursue at this time. So again, so that's the first advice I'll give to many
mhm.
women: honor your dreams, and second of all, have a game plan. Yeah, it's and game plan, and to have the game plan in an actual tangible way is to have a goal setting and goal attainment plan. And I know when it comes to goals, people either hate it or love it, but we can't deny the fact that, it is the most effective way to make your dream a reality. In a way, if you think about it, goals are nothing but dreams in actions with deadlines.
Mm,
So if you want to look at it that way, it's going to give you that structured way to make your and turn your dreams into a reality step by step. And the last piece, if I may, is take imperfect action.
that's
Imperfect action to me is far better than perfect inaction. So instead of being paralyzed by doing it perfectly, I tell all my clients, just do it imperfectly but consistently. And that's going to give you momentum. And that momentum is going to give you confidence. And that confidence is going to give you competency you need. But people think of it backwards. They think they need to have a confidence first in order to build a competency. No, you have to take action without having enough confidence first, and let that generate momentum for you. And that's going to beget what you need to succeed. So those are things I want to share with my fellow women.
Yes, I love that, and I love really embracing your dreams, and that plans are
Yeah,
so important in putting your dreams into action. There is so much in that, and one of our viewers, Lucy, who is a strong supporter of the YW, so we're grateful for her. She's saying women in that age range are lucky to be women at this time. She's saying that she's 74, and in her youth she had few opportunities except as really being a teacher, a secretary, a nurse, or a mother.
yeah.
And not that those endeavors aren't important, but it's so much better today. There's so many more opportunities for strong women and their dreams. And
So
thank you for saying that, Lucy, because sometimes we forget that the times have changed. We know that there's more change that's needed, but the reality of it is we have had a shift for sure that's been positive. Thank you for reminding us of that.
and we definitely owe all these opportunities to the women that came before us. So yeah, we're
Yes, and I
definitely
can say women like Lucy definitely has been kind of a mentor and a coach for me in my life.
yeah,
I
yeah,
personally, so I agree that it's we stand on their shoulders for sure in terms of being able to do the things that we are doing today, and even you being able to have a career in what you're doing,
yeah.
is based in that. So Claire, before we leave each other, too, I just want to ask you one more thing, and then we can wrap up. Is for a woman out there who's listening, um, who are the kind of women that come to you for coaching? You know, sometimes I think we hear about all these coaches and these
Yeah,
transformational life coaches and personal coaches and professional coaches and coaches and
I
coaches.
know, right?
But how do we know if we need a coach? Like what would who's the profile, if you will, of a woman that might reach out to you for support.
Yeah, so there is no profile per se. I've had a woman from all walks of life, different nationalities and different age group. Um, but basically, this is something that you can start on your own, and hiring a coach is completely optional.
Mm,
But the benefit of having a coach next to you, walking you through and guiding you, the benefit of that is it's going to shorten the time. That is the only benefit. So it is completely up to you if you want this journey to be, expanded and you enjoying the process of it. That's no problem. But at least the ones that come to me are corporate women or who are self-employed, or I've actually had a homestay mom, who's all about wanting to have, as a side hustle or hustle. There's a terminology these days, sidepreneur.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, having so I call it passion project, So again, to answer your question, women from all different walks of life, who just want to better themselves and who want to become that person they know they can be.
Mm,
I think that's what sums up, because after all, all these goals and goal chasing, goal attaining, and whatnot, it's not the end goal. the thing or the stuff that we go after. It is the process of becoming who you know you can be.
Right.
Yeah, so women who have the desire, those are the ones that come to me and ask for help.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that and just sharing your work with us. I mean, again, it's such a great way to end the week.
Oh, thank
With
you.
just
Yeah,
thinking about and dreaming and thinking about, formally putting our dreams into action. And, as Lucy said, we're kind of blessed to be in a time now that that's an opportunity for us.
yeah,
And, having, really skilled practitioners like yourself out there to help us take our musings and make them into something formal and transformational
yeah,
is such a gift. So for our viewers, we do encourage you again to go learn more about Claire and her work, follow her on her social media, check out her website. And for us, we hope you stay connected to us. We'll be getting back to doing some regular YWTVs. We have some great conversations lined up for you, and we're so happy that we got to talk with Claire today. I do want to make sure we're going to put the drop in here into the website, into our links so that you can connect to our YW Tech program that I mentioned and to our Eureka 360 program. There's some great opportunities starting with both of them very shortly. Both of these programs are free of charge for any of the women who participate, and we do encourage you to check them out if you want to maybe learn more about the tech industry, to think about shifting careers there or start your own, get some support for yourself to become a sidepreneur, as Claire mentioned. We also want you to check out on our link here. We are getting ready to celebrate so many influential and inspirational women in our community at our Twin Awards, which are upcoming on June 6th. We have the link here for you to not only get a ticket if you'd like to come celebrate these women, but also if you have a woman that you'd like to nominate for the award, we do encourage you to do that as well. We will be at the Park Avenue Club in Florham Park at 8:30 a.m. on June 6th to honor so many amazing women, and I can't wait to share them with you. And also, we do encourage you for the women to think about joining our Your Story writing workshop. Having a place to journal is such a great place to really learn about your dream. And we do have a dedicated space and a coaching space for that with two wonderful writers and really creatives, Rachel Brenner and Sherry Pullum, for 3 weeks. This virtual writing workshop that will help you reimagine, reassess, and reflect your life, and help you maybe come to terms with a dream that you have, and then you can check out, Claire, more detail to bring it to fruition. Again, there's no charge for our writing workshop, and it starts May 17th. And you can register today. Also, we'll drop the link in for that as well. There's so much going on at the YW. Always, we do encourage you to stay connected to our social media and our website, and so that you can partake for yourself, or you can connect for either the seniors in your life or the young folks getting ready for our camp season, or our seniors with our virtual wellness activities. There's something for everyone for sure. And with that, I also just want to make one plug. May is Menstrual Equity Month, and the YWCA is a distribution site. So if you would like to help us, help the community, if you'd like to make some donations of menstrual products, whether it's pads or tampons, if you either drop them off at our office or you can have them sent through Amazon, we will be giving them out, and we have been giving them out. We give a 3-month supply free of charge to anyone who needs them. And the period care packages get put together and sent out into the community. And it really goes a long way from an equity perspective of being able to keep women and girls from missing school and missing work because they don't have access to products. So we do encourage you to support that. And we'll have a link here for you to learn more how you can do that as well. So with that, look, it's Friday. We hope that this ends up being the start of a restful, re-energizing couple days for you. Hopefully a little more sun keeps coming, because I think that's good for all of our mental health for sure, with May being Mental Health Month. And we wish everyone a great, healthy, happy day. And thank you again, Claire, for your share. This has really been a great uplifting way to end our week.
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.